Good morning, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my thoughts and my final review on the newest release from Parfums de Marly, which is Valaya. I have given this a wear test. This is not a first impression, so I'm going to give you all of the details, including the sillage, the longevity, what it smells like, perfumes that it sort of gives me little vibes of to help you understand what it might smell like to you as well. And then just at the end, my final thoughts. Was I wowed or was this a letdown? So I'm really excited to share my thoughts on this perfume with you guys. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Alithia, and on this channel we do talk a lot about perfumes. I share with you sort of my perfume journey, all of my favorite discoveries, and I also do try to review a lot of the newest releases, especially ones that are highly anticipated, such as the Parfums de Marly releases. So if that's something that interests you and you're not already subscribed, I would love if you would consider subscribing. Also, leave me a comment down below and let me know, is this a perfume you were interested in or that you are interested in? And just in general, or if you've smelled it before, what are your thoughts on this fragrance? And with that out of the way, let's get started in today's video. Also, in the beginning of the video, I did do a little bit of a sit down and have coffee and sort of chit chat about perfume in general and like where my collection is going and my thoughts in terms of perfumes at the moment. So if you guys want to sit down and have a coffee with me and just kind of have like a little coffee chit chat and listen to that, that's perfectly fine. But if you're not into that, I will put a timestamp and you can jump ahead directly to the Valaya review. All right, guys, good morning. So I'm filming this on Monday morning. I'm hoping to have it edited and uploaded today, or at the very least, at the very latest tomorrow. I did just work all weekend. You guys, I have so many videos I need to make / want to make. I have a haul of perfumes sitting upstairs on my dresser, and they're amazing perfumes. Some of them are honestly so good that they bring a tear to my eye. Like, some of them are so good. I've never smelled perfumes that good in my life. One of them for sure is a new top 10 for life. Like, I can't imagine never having that perfume. So I do have so many videos I need to make, but I really wanted to get this one done first. The sun hasn't completely gotten up yet. My daughter just left for school not too long ago. And it's still like the wee hours of the morning. So sorry for the lighting. It's just going to be a super chill, quiet, semi-dark video. Hopefully you guys don't mind the vibe this morning. Hope everybody had a really nice weekend, and I'm super happy to have a day off today, but I actually work a lot these next couple of weeks, so yeah, I'm gonna do my best to get all of the content up that I want to get up, and I'm just super pumped. I also have a bunch of perfumes coming in the mail, and they should all be here by the end of next week. A lot of them are going to be here this week, but some of them, because they're coming from the States, and actually one I think is coming from overseas. But yeah, so anyway, all of them should be here by the end of next week, which will be really good, and then I can crank out the content. Let me know, by the way, you guys, do you prefer me to do one huge haul with literally, like, I'm embarrassed to tell you how many perfumes, literally like 15 to 20 perfumes? Would you rather that, or would you rather me do like a series of mini hauls where it's like 4 per video kind of thing? What is your preference? Something that I'm really working on this year is taking time with them to make sure that I have properly tested them, properly worn them, given them a wear test, and at least had them on my skin for a full day period. Because in the past, I'm so guilty of this, and this is something I've recognized in myself, and this is a reason I've passed up so many amazing perfumes in the past, is because I've not given them a proper wear. I've literally just sprayed them on a tester strip, maybe put them on my skin once, and then kind of like made my decision about it, whether or not I liked it, whether or not I thought it was going to work. Another thing that I'm doing this year, and some of you may have already figured it out, and I've actually talked to a lot of you over on Instagram about it already, is that I'm going to try to not put myself in a box this year. I am feeling super inspired and super excited about discovering new perfumes, and I know a lot of people are not into niche perfumes, but once you get to that point where you're like, I don't know, I feel like I've crossed over almost. Like, I told somebody this the other day on Instagram. I was like, I feel like I crossed over. I have become that person who now wants to try like all the samples and just find the best of the best for me, like the best niche perfumes, my favorite new discoveries. I'm just so excited. I have tons of samples coming. This is going to be the year about samples, decants, and proper testing. That is what this year is going to be about for me. I'm going to take you guys along for the journey. I know that there's a lot of people out there who are interested in niche perfumes. Some people are not. I'm still going to do designer. I'm still going to do body sprays and fragrance mist. Don't get me wrong. In fact, I do have a huge body mist haul coming next week for you guys. For those who are into that, I definitely am. I still love a good body mist. But when I did a poll, I asked people what they were most interested in, and it was pretty much divided down the middle of people who were like designer and body sprays or just designer, and people who were niche. So I'm going to be doing a little of everything for everybody because that's what I personally like as well. I like a bit of a mixture. I love designer scents. I'm not getting away from them. And I know that it can be hard to relate to for people who are not into niche. And I wasn't for a long time. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think my nose was actually ready for niche up until recently. I've owned niche perfumes in the past, but I don't think I was ready for the character and the complexity and the intricacies of different niche perfumes. I kind of just was more drawn to those like simple, everyday, easy, mass-pleasing, grab-and-go designer perfumes. That was kind of like what I gravitated toward the most. But lately, I don't know what happened, you guys. It's like a switch flipped, and all of a sudden I am like, wow, I'm just blown away by some of these other fragrances that are not super mainstream, and I'm just super excited to continue discovering more of them, and I'm just pumped about it. I'm super passionate and super excited at the moment, and I'm just going to go with it. So this year, I'm trying not to put myself in a box. I'm trying not to tell myself that the perfumes have to fit into a mold. They have to fit on a certain shelf. They have to be within 20 or 30 perfumes. If I love a perfume, I'm not going to try to talk myself into, oh, I don't know if I should keep it because I'm trying to keep my number down to a certain number. Like, I'm just really embracing this as my hobby. And I know it might be a little confusing because I did just do a declutter last August, and to be really honest with you guys, and I know that I'm talking about this for a long time, feel free to jump ahead if you don't want to listen to this part, but it's important because I'm going to get questions in the future. People are going to say, you know, why are you buying perfumes when you just did a declutter? Do you not want 20 anymore? Like, what do you... Honestly, you guys, this is just my journey as a human being. I'm not here trying to sell you guys anything. I'm not here trying to influence you one way or the other. This is just me sharing my perfume passion with you. And the truth is, last August, September, I was not passionate about perfume at the time. I just wanted to minimize, declutter, get everything down to a simple, manageable number and kind of move on with life. That's how I felt. That's how I really felt. I was not interested in trying niche perfumes at the time. I was not interested in doing hauls. I wasn't in a discovery mood. I just was like kind of over it, you know? I think we all have ebbs and flows with that in our life. And I think if you've ever had a YouTube channel, all of us get to a point where we feel at some point or other like we don't really feel like doing it anymore. And that's kind of how I felt, to be honest. I'm really glad that I didn't make a decision to just not do it anymore, because really honestly at the time, I just was in such a funk. This was when I did that huge declutter. I was kind of in such a funk, and I was annoyed with people, situations, companies, YouTube in general, perfume in general. I was just so like done. You know, I got to a point where I just literally did not even want to hear the word perfume at all. And I did kind of like what I had to do to get through. I did kind of like the bare minimum that I had to do just to get through. And I know we've all been there. I know we've all been there, especially if you've had a channel. You've probably been there at some point where you were like, I just don't feel like doing it right now. And that's how I felt. And with perfume in general, I was like, I don't know if this is my passion anymore. I just had a lot going on, and I was really feeling very much in a funk. And I actually had taken some time off of work for mental health reasons. So there was a lot going on at the time, but I can safely say I feel so much renewed. I feel so much better about things, and I'm just super passionate and excited again about perfume in general. So that's where I'm at. I am feeling back to where I was before summer last year, loving the fragrance journey. And so, yeah, that's a little bit of insight from my brain. I didn't plan this. I just kind of started rambling and went with it. So anyway, we're going to get into Valaya, but that is like my state of mind where I'm at right now. So you can expect me to be giving you guys lots of new fragrance ideas that I have discovered on my own through actually researching houses, notes, olfactive families, purchasing samples, and testing samples. Not just like watching videos and being like, oh, maybe I'll blind buy that, maybe I'll blind buy that. It's actually going to be like, I'm going to do some legwork here. I have so much coming, so you can expect me to do lots of reviews, lots of new discovery, properly testing them, giving you my thoughts after actually having wear tests with the perfumes, not just first impression on a strip. I realize I have been improperly testing perfumes for so long, you guys. Like, there were times I would literally get a sample and I would just take the little dabber thing out of the 1 ml. This was like a couple years ago. I had all these samples. I took the little dabber thing out. I would literally sniff the dabber and be like, I don't think that's for me. And that was my like analysis at the time for myself. I didn't understand that in order to even get a comprehension of what that perfume actually smelled like, at least obviously you have to put it on your skin or put it on paper, but you also have to give it a bit of a wear, unless you absolutely despise it. I mean, if you hate the way it smells at first sniff, you're not going to put it on your skin, but I have been improperly testing perfumes for myself. And then in turn, that does a disservice for anybody who asks my opinion, because I'm like, oh, I didn't like it, but did I really not like it, or did I just not even give it a chance? So this year is going to be completely different for me, and I'm just super passionate about this, super excited. So this year I'm going to be just really going with it, just having fun, enjoying the process, enjoying the journey, finding new perfumes. This is where I'm at as a human. I'm not coming to you guys as a influencer. That's like never what I intended to be. I mean, that was never my mission. This was just sharing my passion. Don't get confused though. I will be sharing with you my best finds. I will be sharing with you the best finds that, you know, my new discoveries, things I love, but I'm coming to you as a human, you know what I mean? So this is just my passion, and you guys, I smell a really good year ahead, no pun intended. And I also feel like I'm gonna have so many good discoveries, you guys. I literally have like 20 samples coming and about 10 decants. All of them are blind, the decants and the samples. Well, a couple of them I have smelled before, but I just wanted to revisit. There's a couple Killian, but there's a whole bunch of niche, I think some indie as well, including the like God of Fire and stuff like that I've heard through the grapevine, but I've never tried them. Don't want to blind buy. This year I am not going to be just blind buying every bottle that looks interesting to me. I'm going to actually properly sample them. I still will do some blind buys of full bottles if I think that there's a really good chance I'm going to absolutely be obsessed with it. And I just like a good blind buy. I still probably will blind buy big bottles, but it's going to be a lot less so this year and more about actually just like discovering, because that's the fun of it, right? I don't live near a Lucky scent bar. I don't live near a department store. I don't live near any perfume stores or Harrods or anything. So I can't just like go for a day and just smell perfumes and discover that way. It has to be through ordering samples, unfortunately, but that's also the fun of it. So you guys can expect a lot more of that. And if that jives with you, great. And it's not going to be just first impressions. I might do the odd first impression, but when I come to you, I will have already decided which ones are the best in my opinion and which ones are full bottle worthy in my opinion. And if there's going to be any, I'm going to add to my collection and I'm going to share it all with you. And I'm just super excited. So yeah, that's enough of my ramble for today. Let's get into today's video. So this is the newest release from Parfums de Marly. This is Valaya or Valaya. I call it Valaya. I think that's correct. It sounds nice to me. And it comes in the typical Parfums de Marly packaging. Very, very luxurious, really nice packaging. I always really like the packaging of Parfums de Marly. That's one of the things that first drew me to the house, was the beautifully designed sort of feminine silhouette of the bottles and the little tassel on the side, the beautiful lids, the little jewel on the top. I just love everything about Parfums de Marly. I think they're so exquisite. Before we get into this review, I'm a huge fan of a lot of Parfums de Marly. I love Italia. I liked Delina a lot. I used to be in love with Delina Exclusive. I'm no longer like, that one's no longer my baby, but I used to love Delina Exclusive. I'm just kind of like tired of that one, over that one. I think that Cassili is nice, although I found a new perfume that in my opinion is better than Cassili. I'm going to share that with you guys very soon. It's my new favorite, like summer perfume. I can't wait to wear it. But anyway, long story short, I really, really, really like Parfums de Marly. So that as a preface, this is not a new house to me. I have tried all of them. So let's take off the box. Obviously, I've already unboxed this. I have worn this. I have properly tested it. This is not a first impression. So we'll take off the lid. And this is the beautiful bottle. So it does come in this lovely little base, which is velvet. So absolutely beautiful bottle. Now, what's interesting about this, I actually thought that the bottle would be more opaque. Looking at the advertising, for some reason, I was not expecting this to be a translucent bottle. I don't know why. Did anybody else get that impression? I thought it was going to be like a white bottle or like a more opaque bottle, and it's actually translucent. It has a very like aquatic look to it, a very light, sort of a delicate aquatic vibe to the bottle, which I think perfectly suits the scent inside as well. You have the white tassels on the side, and the lid, you guys, I will never call them caps. I will always call them lids for some reason. The cap has the beautiful rhinestone on the top, that beautiful jewel. And so yeah, very, very pretty presentation. So before I give her a spray, the notes that you have in here are white peach, bergamot, mandarin orange, and aldehydes in the opening. In the mid, you have orange blossom, lily of the valley, petalia, vetiver, nympheal, and mahonia. And in the base, you have musk, akigala wood, ambroxan, and vanilla. So this perfume was a blind buy, and I'll be honest, I would not have blind purchased this if I didn't have a channel. I took one for the team, I blind bought it before I could find any samples because I wanted it as soon as possible. I wanted to review it for you guys. I wanted to give you my thoughts because I know that there would be people hyping this up. So this one, I wasn't sure if it would work out for me because it did look like it was going to be a very fresh, fruity, musky fragrance. And typically that is not my favorite olfactive type of family. I don't always love a floral musk. It's just not usually my jam. So I kind of knew that this one could go either way. It might be a hit or it might not work out very well for me, but I kind of had high hopes for it because they did have that orange blossom vanilla. I mean, I was kind of hoping that this would be amazing and kind of blow my mind. More on that in a little bit, but there was a chance that this one would have been a hit for me. So I did purchase this basically just to review for you guys, and because I was excited, I wanted to see what it smelled like. And like I said, I don't live near a Saks Fifth Ave or a Neiman Marcus. So let's go ahead and give her a spray. So I just sprayed the paper here. I apologize, I don't have any of the tester strips in front of me, but I have also worn this perfume on my skin, and I've also worn it on my clothing, and I did do a proper all-day wear test. When you first spray it, you do get quite a lot of a citrus and a very soft peach. I don't get a ton of peach per se, but I do get a lot of that bergamot and that mandarin orange. It is a very fresh, citrusy opening. And you right away in the opening as well do get a little bit of that orange blossom and some other sort of like soft, what I think are like just soft white floral facets in the background. It's very, very fresh and clean and soft. You also do get a little bit of those woodsy notes, sort of. For me, right off the hop, I get a little bit of that woodsy component coming through. It almost reminds me, I mean, and I don't like to compare a perfume to another perfume, but just to help people understand who don't know what notes smell like, or they're like, what would you compare it to? So little facets that I get a tiny bit of like the citrusy touch, the citrusy, woodsy, musky component from light blue. Not that this smells like light blue, but for those of you who are wondering like what vibes is it giving you, it does have a tiny touch of like a light blue, citrusy, woody, musky component, clean and fresh. It does have orange blossom. The orange blossom comes through quite a lot for me, kind of sort of perfectly matched up with that lily of the valley. So it's not super, super sweet. Some people had compared this to Oriana from Parfums de Marly. I don't think it smells like Oriana. I think they're just grasping that orange blossom accord and they're thinking, oh yeah, there's orange blossom. So like it shares a similar note with Oriana, but it does not smell like Oriana. It also gives me a little bit of Ex Nihilo's Fleur Narcotique or Narcotic. That one I actually used to own a bottle of for a very brief period of time. I ended up returning it just because I didn't love the performance on that one. So Ex Nihilo's Fleur Narcotic, it has a tiny bit of that sort of very soft floral like sweetness from Fleur Narcotic, if you've ever smelled that one. And it also has a very soft, almost aquatic nature to it. And in regards to like Delina La Rose, it doesn't smell like Delina La Rose. Obviously, they're very different perfumes. They are very different, but this has a little bit of that musky, aquatic like freshness that you also find in Delina La Rose. So this is a beautiful, beautiful perfume. It's perfect for the spring and summer. I would say that this would work really well, especially on hot days if you're looking for something that is going to last all day, make you smell very feminine, very fresh, very delicate, very soft, and isn't going to overpower people, but still will have good longevity. This perfume, believe it or not, for the scent profile, has really good longevity. It lasted on my skin pretty much all day. I would say I got like a solid 7 or 8 hours at least on my skin, which is amazing for this scent profile. This is such a soft, light, fresh perfume that I would have expected it to dissipate within a couple of hours, but it doesn't. It lasts all day. So that's really good. Even on clothing, the scent will linger all day long. So it does have good longevity. Sillage-wise, it isn't a sillage monster. I was a little taken aback at first because for the amount that it cost, I was expecting it to have just a little bit more oomph because all of the other Parfums de Marlys have a little more oomph to them. Delina Le Rosé was previously probably the lightest of the Parfums de Marlys. It was definitely the softest, the most fresh, the most clean, the most aquatic, the most watery, if you will. Good for the hot weather and humid weather. But now this one is their new lightest one. All the other ones have something about them that is a very special, very unique, with maybe the exception of Miliora. That one was more of like a sweet, fruity, shampoo-y type of scent, a little bit more mass-pleasing, a little bit more some generic tendencies that might match some other fragrances that I've smelled before. But all of the other Parfums de Marlys were so unique. Delina was like the best rose, in its class. Delina Exclusive was totally unique and totally mind-blowingly incredible and different and just an amazing fragrance, and I loved that perfume for a long time. Italia, one of the most beautiful, powdery, sort of dark fragrances. Parfums de Marly's perfumes are sort of a class in their own, they're in a class of their own. This one for me is a little bit more, I don't want to say generic, but it's a little bit less mind-blowing than most of the other Parfums de Marly's. It is beautiful, but I do feel personally like I've smelled it before. So I don't think that this is incredibly unique, and it didn't blow my mind. It's not like I smelled it and I thought, wow, I've never smelled anything like this. Whereas with Delina and Delina Exclusive, I thought, wow, I've never smelled anything like this. This doesn't give you that kind of wow factor that I've sort of come to expect from Parfums de Marly. It's actually really interesting. I just looked on Fragrantica, and I'm not the first person to make the light blue comparison. Not that it smells like light blue, and I don't mean to insult Parfums de Marly by bringing up a very common designer perfume, but it does have a touch of that vibe. It really does, for me anyway. It's sort of like Light Blue and Fleur Narcotique sort of met and then had a baby, but then got rid of some of the sweetness from Fleur Narcotique. That's what I'm smelling. And it is a pretty perfume. It's very soft. It has an aquatic feeling to it. It's very light. It's very delicate, very dainty. It would be a great choice just for a grab and go on a hot day or even to the gym if you're looking for something easy, soft, fresh. It is something we haven't seen from Parfums de Marly yet. It is different from everything we've seen, which I think is great. I think they have something for every olfactive family, except for maybe a super vanilla. That is something I would love to see from Parfums de Marly, is like a really boozy vanilla. If they would come up with just a mind-blowingly elegant and stunning vanilla fragrance, something with the likes of like a Spiritueuse Double Vanille or even more of a buttery gourmand, that would be amazing. That is one thing that I hope that they're going to do. Who knows, maybe they'll come out with something like that for this fall or winter. That would be amazing. But that's something I would love to see from Parfums de Marly that they haven't really touched yet. They haven't really gone in that direction yet. I have to say though, you guys, I was a little underwhelmed by this perfume. I was a little disappointed and a little underwhelmed. Not necessarily in the scent itself. The scent itself is beautiful. I have to say, I am not a musky, light floral, aquatic, woodsy girl. I just don't like those kind of perfumes. I don't like light blue, and I don't like those type of super citrusy, aldehydic, woodsy, musky, white florals like Lily of the Valley and stuff like that. That's just not my scent category. That's not my vibe. So I'm a little biased. Objectively, it's a beautiful perfume if that is your scent profile. Subjectively, for me, I don't care for it that much just because it's not my scent profile. This is not a perfume that if I smelled it in store, I would be wowed by or even really give it a second chance or think, oh yeah, I want to try that out, or oh, I like that. It's just not my cup of tea. I prefer more the peonies, the roses, something with a little bit of a vanillic undertone, sweet fruity, not so much the lemons and the bergamot, more so the lychee. And I do like a woody vanilla. I do like a woody component. I love my orientals. I like my gourmand touches. I like my sweet perfumes. I'm really starting to actually get into, even believe it or not, I'm starting to like oud a little bit. I know. Who am I? I'm starting to like oud. What? I'm telling you guys, I've crossed over. It's a whole new world for me. I'm like discovering all these things I enjoy. Anyways, so this is the least of my favorite in the olfactive world. So no, nothing wrong with the perfume. It is a beautiful perfume. But for me, because I don't love this olfactive family, it fell short. Because I think that watching reviews, you're going to see a lot of people say, oh my gosh, the new Parfums de Marly, greatest thing ever. You have to get your nose on it. And it could influence somebody to say, I'm going to blind buy it. I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to blind buy it. And I don't want you to be disappointed, especially if you don't know olfactive families yet, especially if you don't have like an understanding of like, what does peony smell like in comparison to lily of the valley? They're two completely different scents. Or, you know what I mean? I want somebody to see a review from somebody who wasn't crazy about it. And that's why I wanted to make this video as soon as possible, because there is a lot of, not a lot, but like it's starting to get hyped. The only reviews I've seen so far have been from people who really, really liked it. I don't feel that way about it, so I wanted you to see my perspective. Again, this is totally subjective. The perfume itself is gorgeous. I just don't love it. I was kind of thinking, what if this is, you know, your typical musky, floral, fresh, but with a twist? What if it has a strong vanilla, or, you know what I mean? Like, I was kind of hoping it would wow me a little bit, and it didn't. So it could have gone either way, but for me, that vanilla is just subtly in there as kind of background base note, you know, along with the musk, along with the woods. But this primarily is a fresh, aldehydic, soft, white floral. That's what it is for me. It did not wow me. I was actually quite let down. I was quite disappointed. I was hoping I would love it more than I did, even though I knew that it wasn't my usual scent family. I still was hoping that it would give me that Parfums de Marly like wow factor. Again, I don't like to compare, but for those of you who haven't smelled it, and for those of you who are looking for something to compare it to, it's like a super soft, delicate light blue with a little more orange blossom. That's what it is for me. It's a super, super delicate, soft, very elegant smelling, not screechy, not harsh, not window cleaner, not lemony, light blue with a feminine, classy orange blossom. If we're talking on a scale of 1 to 10, and 10 is Delina exclusive, with that amount of power and strength and sillage and loudness and depth, if that's a 10, this is a 2. In terms of, this one is very quiet, very hush-hush, very delicate, super light, perfectly matches the bottle, perfectly matches the color of the juice. It's a gorgeous perfume. It's perfect for this time of year, especially coming into spring. People are gonna really enjoy it, I think. But I won't be wearing it because it's just not my type of fragrance. I will be going for my Gabrielle Essence from Chanel. That's one of my favorite spring summer perfumes of all time. I'll be going for something maybe with a little bit of a praline undertone, something like Greenwich Village from Bond 9, very appropriate for spring and summer, but has a little more body, a little more excitement to it. It's got floral facets, it's got some sweetness, it's got some depth, it's got some presence, it projects. This is just a little too soft for me and a little too, I don't want to say bland, but for me, this is a little bland for me. So you guys, I don't know if I need to say much more about this fragrance. I think I've kind of given you my thoughts overall. I thought that the longevity was very good. The sillage is not fantastic. Oh, that was one thing. I also was very, very generous with this perfume. I sprayed a lot of it on my arm, on my skin, on my clothing, and I felt like I really had to try to smell it. It was not giving me a ton of presence, which is perfectly fine, because in the spring, summer, when it's hot outside and you want something light and soft, you don't want something that's going to come up and punch you in the face. You want something that's going to be very delicate and very light. I still would rather personally go with like a Trap Rev from Louis Vuitton or Chanel Beige, which is a little more powerful, or Something even like Tiziana Trendy, like Orza or Talea, something that is spring and summer and fruity floral, fresh, but still has more oomph to it. Do you know what I mean? This is like so soft and delicate, and it's great for certain occasions depending on what you're looking for, I think. And everybody needs a perfume like this in their collection. I think everybody needs a perfume like this that is going to give you that delicateness and that softness and that freshness that isn't going to overpower you or like come up and punch you in the face when you walk into a warm summer day. Everybody needs a perfume like that. So it has a place. It definitely has a place. It's pretty. But for me personally, I just wasn't wowed. I didn't get enough of that Parfums de Marly wow factor that I was really hoping for with this one. And also I want you guys to know as well, by the way, this was purchased with my own money. I think I mentioned that. But I will always give you guys my honest opinion about perfumes. Like I said, I love Parfums de Marly. I would be honored if they would start sending me their fragrances. I would be honored to be like on their PR list. I would love that. I think that they make incredible perfumes. But I will always be honest with you guys, even, you know, at the expense of some companies being like, well, we're not sending her anything. I don't know. On one hand, I want to appeal to the company as well as a creator, but it's more important for me to be honest with myself and be honest with you guys. And even though this perfume is a great perfume, I'm not going to come on here and just give it flying colors reviews without telling you as well my subjective, how I feel about it. You have to hear some people say like, I just don't love it. It's okay to hear that from people. Yeah, and we're all subjective human beings. Personally, just don't love it. And it was a bit of a letdown for me. So anyway, sorry to be negative, you guys. It's like Monday morning and I feel like I'm already being a little bit negative, but that is my thoughts on the new Valaya from Parfums de Marly. I would say definitely get a sample. Don't blind buy it unless you absolutely love Light Blue and Ex Nihilo from Fleur Narcotic. And if you like Lily of the Valley, and if you want something super, super soft that isn't going to give you a whole bunch of oomph or like a wow factor or like a lot of power, something that's just very soft and delicate and dainty and kind of like a breeze in the wind, like a breeze in the wind. If you want your perfume to be like that, then check it out. That's my thoughts on the new Valaya. What is a breeze? Did I say breeze in the wind? Did I say breeze in the wind? You guys, I'm telling you, Monday morning, I have not had enough coffee. You guys know what I'm trying to say. So that's it for today's video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you very soon in my next one. Bye for now.